Ugh. Hey guys, I'm Conan. Welcome back. I remember last week I was talking about how cold I was. Now, I wasn't going to talk about my medical problems, but the reason I was so cold is because I have poor circulation in the legs and the hands. One day I'll get around to telling you about what happened with all that and what caused it. But my solution was is I went out and bought these boots, and they called Ugg boots down here in Australia. I'll turn one around for you. You can see right there, it's got written Blue Sheep Ugg boots. That's because they're made out of sheep skin, sheep wool. I don't know why they called these ones blue. Maybe they should have called them black, huh? Black sheep Ugg boots. But I think it's because of the blue dogs that they have working the the stations down here. They call them stations, not ranches. So I think they call them blue sheep after them dogs. But they're working out pretty good. They really are nice and warm. A little bit pricey though. About maybe 130 US. They sure made a difference. All right, let's take a look around at the rest of the rig I'm trying to put together here. Today we'll look at the trailer setup. It's going to be a 2-trailer road train. And I'll start with this box here. I used to haul household goods in the U.S. And this box was a drum box for loading. I call it a load box now. And it used to be on Thunder Truck 2, which if you take a look in the shorts, you'll see a quick clip of the green International cab over with the custom sleeper. And this box was on there before I built the sleepers onto there. But this will be the lead trailer. So we'll head down this side because we've got space down here. So this is a 1978 Great Dane. This will be the lead trailer. Oh, there you go. There's the emblem right there. It's got the original emblem on there. And I got this one. This was a bargain. I got this long time ago for about $1,000 US. And it was in pretty decent condition. But back when I got it in the US, nobody wanted 40-foot trailers anymore. So the poor thing was just sitting in the back of a yard in Fontana, California. And I went over there and grabbed it with some ideas. I had some good ideas back when I was full of beans. All right, and the old blue one on top of it, that's a 19. Let me see if I can head over here, get a better shot of it. Whoops. That's a 1957 Highway. That's the model. 1957. Isn't that something? And it was just so cool. I put that diamond plate cover on that box there just to keep the rain out. And check out the frame on it. Check out this the way it's built. So basically they use this steel strap as a like a suspension deal to give it extra strength down the sides. And but somebody before I got it, somebody modified the suspension and put a later year suspension setup. Now you can see where they welded the equalizer to the frame. You can see the bolt holes where the old setup used to be on there. So probably this had wedge brakes. And there's the H there, stands for highway. So it would have had wedge brakes. And I took all the floor out of it because it was just all rotten and falling apart. And this was well, this one's only 35 feet long. But for $600 at the time, around about the same time that I bought this one, this Great Dane, I couldn't pass it up. I figured, well, I could just fix it up as like a side thing just because, you know how it is. People would have taken it down the scrap and just melted it for nails or something. The Great Dane has this pretty cool wreck. I picked up this material right here next door. They were throwing that away because they were building a new gate on the property, and this was some of the leftover stuff. So they said I could take that piece. That was all one length originally, and I figured I could make a couple of ramps for vehicles to cross from trailer to trailer. Uh, Also, this landing gear is fairly recent. I put that on there. That's probably within the last 10 years, but the original stuff was all bent up and it was just a mess. So, you know, you tidy things up and try to make things look better. And so I'll sneak back here. Now, this piece of channel I got right here, that's going to be the new light bar for the fire truck. So that's going to look pretty cool. But I do have a major problem. There's another little rack here. You can see built under there used to be for uh, side kit sit up. But it's a good strong trailer. But the major problem I have is my wheels and tires. Because down here in Australia, they no longer have 24 fives. So all my rims on both trailers are 24 fives. And I can't get any tires. So I've got no idea what I'm going to do about that situation. I'm working on it like everything else. But be pretty pricey to get all these tires. You can't pull a dime and save yourself a rig, you know what I mean? This is my old car up there. Not sure what I'm going to do with that. That's a 1981 Volvo. It's in pretty good condition. But almost fell over. Storage. You know, storage can be like quicksand. You can put stuff in storage and you can just forget about the stuff, and it just seems like I think that happens to a lot of people. They figure, well, I'll just put stuff in storage and it'll be in storage for a little while, and then the years click past and they don't remember half of what they put in storage. And then a few more years click by and geez, I think a lot of people just forget about this stuff. Yeah, try to avoid storage if you can. It's definitely quicksand. And that old car up on top there with the cover, because there's no roof skin on there, that's just the car body. But that's a pretty big project that's way on the back burner for now. But okay, we'll circle around and then we can take a look at the, I guess you would call it the, oh, by the way, we're walking right past one of the dollies. And yes, that is an actual Consolidated Freightways dolly. I think this one is a Strick, I think they called it. One was called a Strick, and then the other one on the other side is called, I think it started with a C. But this one's got decent tires on there, as you can see. But the sidewalls are getting a little dry. But once again, 24 fives. Oh Lord, what am I gonna do? I did some basics on this. Mud flaps. And it was all solid Rust red. Some of the rust right there. So I just tidied it up a bit to oh, there's red right there. You remember Red from last week? Hey, Red, how are you? Huh? You good? There's Pico pecking away. A couple of eating machines. Yeah, they just said something. See how busy they are. They had time to say something. But, all right, let's continue. We'll head around the other side. Past under truck 1. Here's the other dolly, converter gear. Once again, original Consolidated Freightways. Can't believe they went out of business. So this was also all rust red, as you can see by the inside there. And then I painted it. But even though these decals are in really bad condition, I didn't want to just gouge them off there and throw them away. I wanted to try and save what I could, so I just didn't worry about it. I just taped around and just painted around. Same with the original number there. Here's another shot of this side. The lead trailer and the classic, the 57. And this one here is another Great Dane. And this one here is a 75. Now, this was in really bad condition when I got it. This was bent like a banana. I mean, just right in front of the axles back there. I mean, it was, I think somebody hauled a single coil with it. Because I got this out of California too. I think they had a coil on it and the load went wrong. Or it might have been an accident, I couldn't tell you. But it was bent like a U. And so I got this one for very cheap. It was $1,400. And that included straightening it, which is pretty amazing, really. So I think basically what they did was just gave it to me because the gear was all shot to hell too. I replaced all that. So yeah, it was man, you should have seen it. I looked at it. They said, "Oh yeah, we got another one over at the other yard, but it needs some repair." So I went over there and looked at it. And let's see if we can see any evidence still. I'm sure there is. And I saw it and I thought, oh my gosh. And, but this was bent like a U. Yeah, it's just amazing how they straightened it. It was in a shop in Fontana, California, for those around the world. And that weld right there is basically the only real evidence that you can see what a very good job the guy did. I mean, it was just a guy working on his own, just one guy. And that's where it broke or cracked, and he welded that up. But yeah, he did a really good job on it. So $1,400, and that included the repair, which I thought was pretty excellent. But same problem, 24 fives. Can't get them no more down here. So I've got, let's see, I've got 8, 16, 18. So I need 18 tires. Wait a minute, if I got that right. 16. The one dolly over there, 18. That dolly right here has 20s on there, so I'm okay with that. I can get 20s down here for when I want to be able to go. But I fixed up the back ends on these trailers, and I put if you look over there on the lead trailer, you can see that big, I'll reach over this a little bit. See that big pintle hook on there? It originally came with a pintle hook on that one, which was pretty cool. But that's a new actual hook. I took the old one off. And then I built the framework. I fabricated the framework for this pintle hook right here. Like all this steel right here. I cut the pieces and everything. And then a good friend of mine came along. I've known him for quite a while. Excellent guy. He's originally from New Zealand. And he did the welding for me. And then I painted up the back ends of the trailers. Because down here, the back of your trailers have to be white. It's one of their transport rules. I've got a couple of timbers that I had here. I'm using the rain and some bricks to straighten them out. They were bent like boomerangs too. But as you can see, they're almost straight now. So that's worked well. Those tires up there are 22 fives, which were they're all pretty worn out, but they were basically just get-by tires for the tractor. Here's a different angle of the two cars on top of the lead trailer. My old Volvo. And then on this trailer, I got my old boat sitting on there. I've had this little boat for a long time. And I called it the Vesta Enterprise. It used to be just called the Vesta. And I added Enterprise because I've always been an international truck guy, so I kind of combined the inter from the prize from the old famous U.S. sailing boat, the Enterprise, which I think was about 100 and some years ago. The Enterprise was sailing around. All right, very good. Another stroll down here real quick. So this dolly here, this is the one with the 20s on there. So that's one consolation. And the same with this one, it was all rust red and I touched it up and put mud flaps on there. Now how I got these wheels was very lucky. I was driving around, I got them down here, but they're the old two-piece rim, the dangerous ones. And I just happened to be driving around across town, and these rims were on the back of well, they call them a ute down here. It's like a pickup, but it's called a ute. Some of those are pretty cool. And they just happened to be there, and I said, "Hey, what are you doing with those?" He said he's throwing them away. It was a tire repair guy. I said, "Can I have them?" And he said, "Oh, mate," like they say down here. He said, "Oh, mate, give me a case of beer. You can have them." So that's how I got those. I was very fortunate to get those, but they were a real mess. I mean, I cleaned them up and painted them to match everything else. All right, excellent, guys. That's the rest of the rig I'm trying to put together. Next week will be a good episode. I'll introduce you to my dragon. I have a dragon that I glide around on down here. And it's the original emblem. Little bit bent and warped. Oh, I'm broken along the bottom edge there, but I don't want to bust it off there and throw it away. Just a quick view down here. Oh, there's the old light bar off the fire truck. It was bent to all hell, but I tried to straighten it and it's just not up to standard. So, yeah, next week I'll introduce you to my dragon. And that'll be a good episode. Be safe and adios, come Drogos.